When I got up this morning and I was reading the papers, there was one headline, there's many out here, I'm not picking on one media source, but the headline in the New York Times this morning says, U.S. car sales crumble, down again in July. And I love this industry, as I'm sure that most of you in this room does or you wouldn't be here. I got a completely different perspective. I think the auto industry right now, while it does have some challenges, is fundamentally very healthy. And let me tell you why. First of all, the industry closed out on the 31st, Monday night. Everyone reported their final sales. Yesterday was industry reporting day. And industry reporting day, by about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, all the details come out on the models. And I had an opportunity after dinner to take a look at everything. Now, what is true? Last month, in the month of July, there was in the U.S., and these are U.S.-centric numbers, there was 1.415 million, 1,415,000 vehicles sold in the U.S. during the month of July. Now, if you annualize and seasonalize that, it was a 16.8 million SAR. Now, if we go a year ago, to July a year ago, there was 1.5 million, a little bit better than 1.5 million cars sold. And that month, July a year ago, seasonalized at a 17.8 million. So yes, it's factually true. July versus July, the industry was down 7%. But I could simply take the perspective, but yes, it's still a 16.8 market for all of us. I'm sure we went through 2008 through 2012 together when we were dealing with 9, 10, 11 million SARs, and all of a sudden we're ringing the alarms at a 16.8. I feel pretty good about that. But bear with me for a moment, because let me peel the onion just a little bit more so you understand why my perspective is that July was a good month for the industry. The auto industry manages its business on selling days. And one of the things that was against us in the month of July was the calendar. Obviously, selling days, Sundays aren't counted, because many states, Michigan included, autos aren't retailed on Sundays. So Sundays are simply collected into Mondays. And then when the calendar, the industry has had agreement for decades that if a weekend falls, if the last day of the month falls on a weekend, the first business day of the next month is when we close sales out. So that creates a little irregularity in the calendar. So year over year, last year, the month of July had 26 selling days. July of 17, the month we just closed, was 25 selling days. Simply just how the weekend fell. So Toyota, and I'm sure most manufacturers manage themselves on DSR rates, because there's 365 days in a year, obviously, but the month to month changes. Now, it goes the other way in August. August last year, there was 26 days. August 17, there will be 27 days. It's simply how the weekends fall. So if you look at it in its face, July, because of that selling day, was understated by a day. In August, we'll all feel good, because there's one more day in August than there was last year. So if you take that into account, and you look at it at a daily selling rate, this year, there was 56,600 vehicles sold per day in the month of July. A year ago, there was 58,500. So that is a decline, but it's a decline of about 3.3%, about half of what we're reading in the papers on a pure volume basis. But it goes deeper than that. The industry looks at sales two different ways. We look at the retail consumer, which is the heart of the business, and then we look at the fleet buyers, which is today is largely dominated by the rental car companies. So if I just take a look, and if you bear with me, and this is, again, why I'm optimistic on the results for the industry last month, retail consumers bought 51,440 cars per day in the month of July. If you go back July a year ago, there was a 485 unit per day difference in the retail industry last month. The retail industry did decline, but it declined 0.9%. And it declined, when you look at 0.9%, sure, I would love to have growth forever, but it declined 0.9% after 7 consecutive years of growth and an all-time record month of July. So I'm not suggesting that all collectively we don't have challenges with regulations and oversupply of cars and high incentives. I get all that, but the retail market is very, very healthy. In our case, we ended up that our car side, we sold 8% fewer cars last month than we did a year ago. I hate that. But we sold 22% more SUVs and trucks. I love that. And overall, we were fortunate that our business increased on a volume basis about 3.5%, but was up on a DSR basis about 7%. So the retail market, while there are challenges out there, the retail market is holding up very, very well. And the volatility that we're all experiencing and the market, the media is reporting about to get these salacious headlines is really what's happening on the fleet side of the business. So again, maybe accuse me of being an eternal optimist, but I think the market right now in 2017 is very good. I personally started saying in the third quarter of last year that we are over the top, but we're not on a sleigh ride now. The auto industry, I believe, we're going into a period of plateauing over the next 24 to 36 months where we can expect industry SARs in the mid to the upper 16 millions, and that's good for dealers, that's good for customers, and that's good for OEMs, so as well as all the suppliers that are here today. So I think we have a very bullish outlook over the next 2 to 3 years.